Hello everyone, welcome to Sentence Diagramming 101. This is exercise 3D. So our job here is to identify word functions and then diagram for STVDOOCs. So we're going to have some object complements happening here. Basically, our diagrams are going to go very far to the right, whereas in the other ones maybe they went down. These are going to go off to the side a little bit more. All right, so we are, what is this? Oh, 13 going on 30, right? So Jenna is our subject. And let's see, what is she doing? She's going to find something. Oh, my pen is angry already. She's going to find him, and then she's going to find him unpopular. So that's telling me more about him. So let's see, we're going to go Jenna finds direct object him, and then unpopular. Remember, we do this backward leaning slant because it's sort of like wee going back. Oop, no, just kidding. I did that wrong. Ignore this. It's not going back to the subject. We're in object complement territory. It just does this. Just a little wee, just like that. All right. Moving on, we've got Matt finds her interest in him strange. So in him, prepositional phrase. Which interest? So that's an adverb. We've got Matt finds the interest, and then it's her interest, adjective, and then she finds that strange, object complement. So we're going to have Matt here. He's going to find the interest, and it's going to be her interest, and it's going to be her interest in him, and then he's going to find that strange. Boom. All right, Matt gets Jenna angry during the party, so that's when, so that's an adverb. And we got Matt. What is he doing? He's getting Jenna, and he's getting Jenna angry, describing Jenna. So we have Matt gets what? Gets Jenna, and then Jenna ends up angry. Object complement. And all of that happens during party. Let's see, Jenna calls him Maddie, so she calls him the thing, making that the object complement. It's easy when there's only a few words. You're like, well, one of these words has to do all of the functions. So Maddie's the object complement. All right, in the movie's future scenes, prepositional phrase, tells me when, acting as an adverb. Jenna clearly is how she sees, adverb, clearly. Considers Maddie what? A lost love. So A and lost are going to be adjectives. So we've got Jenna here, and Jenna considers. She clearly considers. She considers Maddie. And I didn't make that to be that way. Here we go. A love. And then he's a love. Oh, did I really write lost? Just kidding. Should be love up there. And then he's a lost love. Now, we haven't talked about this yet, but lost is actually a special variety of adjective called a participle, which is what happens when you take a verb and you turn it into an adjective. Like to lose is a verb, but we made it a lost instead. So you diagram it a little bit differently. You put the end on this little like straight stand. We're going to spend more time on these later on, but that's why it looks a little different. Now, we've still got this prepositional phrase, and it's when, so it's going to be in, and then in what? In the scenes. And then which scenes? It's going to be the scenes, it's going to be the movies, scenes, and then it's going to be the future scenes. All right, and that is exercise 3D.